they have received from heaven to the world, regardless of the opposition of person faces. The one gives the most love becomes the owner. Those individuals who love more, invest more, give more, and forget what they have given will become central figures. This is a universal law, True Mother said. Whoever can stand without shame before the family, nation, and world, and heaven and earth will be protected at the center of the cosmos and can then build a family that receives God's highest love. How do we become a true owner? True parents said that the first, we must become a person who loves more. To become a person who loves more, you must become someone who shed their blood and sweat and tears more than anyone else for the object partner, the nation, and the world. Sweat is the effort and hard work to fulfill the portion of responsibility. Tears are love and sincerity. And blood is a sacrifice to love the other person than the country. A sacrifice that can even give one's life is a shedding of blood. Second, in order to become the true owner, true parent taught us to invest more in the other person. We must invest 10 times or 100 times until the other person becomes better than you. It is not complete commitment unless the other person becomes a better person than you are. Third, you must forget that we have given. True love is giving unconditionally and forgetting it has given. Giving and remembering is conditional love. True love is the love that sheds tears and feels sorry for not being able to give more even after giving everything. In this way, the person who loves more, invests more, gives and forget they have given more, eventually becomes the true owner, become central figures. Collective sin. How to remove collective sin. The way of goodness is the way of living for the sake of others. Sacrificing for something greater like this means taking on collective responsibility, collective mindset. In this way, collective responsibility means that you will pay any kind of indemnity for something greater. Those who think I came to Unification Church in order to gain my own salvation cannot bear collective responsibility. True salvation is when you take collective responsibility for the other person's failures and go with the mindset to pay any sacrifice indemnity. Then your own salvation is automatically achieved. This is a very important point. I think no one teaches this matter very clearly. That's why our divine principle is really incredible. Father's word is really, really, really amazing. My brothers and sisters, please listen very well from now what I'm talking about. You must know that you can never be saved if self-salvation becomes your first motivation and goal. Father said very clearly, individual salvation occurs when I take collective responsibility for my family. The salvation of my family is a salvation when I take collective responsibility for my tribe. Salvation of my tribe is a salvation when I take collective responsibility for my country. Salvation of our country is achieved when we take collective responsibility for the salvation of the world. And salvation of the world is achieved when we take collective responsibility for the liberation of God. Wow, it is a really incredible guidance. Everybody understands the meaning of collective responsibility. Of course, we can remove collective sin, When we think about the collective responsibility, then your sin is my sin. Adam's problem is my problem. I am the one who take responsibility collectively. This is incredible guidance. What do you think about it? You know? Then I have to be responsible. Do not blame to any other one. Do not blame just Adam and Eve. And do not blame all the central figures, those who could not fulfill. I have to be responsibility. I have to be responsibility as a collective for collective sin, collective responsibility. This kind of mindset of the collective mindset and responsibility very important. Then automatically we can live for the sake of others. The principle of the living for the sake of others, automatically you can have a collective responsibility. My nation problem is my problem. The problem of the whole world is this my problem. I have to take collective responsibility. Collective responsibility comes from the spirit of living for the sake of others. You know? Those who have this kind of collective responsibility, he or she will become the owner of the nation, owner of the world, owner of the whole mankind. He or she is the one who really can liberate God's heart and God's soul. Next, of unimaginable sacrifice in order to take responsibility and indemnify the historical collective sins. So how do you solve their hands and sorrow? We too must providentially and historically bear the collective responsibility and go the path of sacrifice more than our ancestors. Collective responsibility is to treat the mistake and sins of our ancestors as our own. And when I treat it publicly as a historical issue, take responsibility for it, pay indemnity, and go the path of the sacrificing more, I can fulfill my collective responsibility. Collective responsibility comes from the spirit of the owner to sacrifice more, take responsibility for the whole. Just as God and true parents always think about the salvation of the whole, we too must think of the whole. We must think of the world beyond the country, think of the mankind, and even think of the liberation of God and take responsibility. There is a collective responsibility of those of us living in the era of 천일국. Things as a retirement in the world of love in our family, we do not ask parents to retire from their parents' position because they are old. Of course, older people have to nurture and provide the generous support for the growing second and third generations. Our second and third generation inherit the past tradition and achievement of our ancestors, and must do our best to carry them on. Any organization that does not respect its seniors and does not value its juniors will eventually collapse. Just look at our true parents' life. The true parents have retirement. The reason retirement age system came into existence today is because the pastors are responsible for not evoking the heart of the members to want to serve them like a father. So our church must create that kind of atmosphere where senior and junior all respect and love each other. If the church really had love and longing and everyone tried to live for the sake of each other, they would try to serve each other regardless of age. We need to really make this kind of beautiful tradition. Of course, first generation need to raise up second gen and third generation. And then third generation, second generation need to learn from the elderly people. We need to have this kind of beautiful tradition in our movement. Because of age, you need to get up, okay? And you need to really step down. not that, not like this. That's why we in America, our movement, really need to have that kind. We need to have this kind of beautiful tradition, even though you are not much involved with church work. Let's just say like kind of even retired, but we need to still respect them and love them. We need to hear from their achievement, how they really contribute for the sake of the country. We need to have this kind of beautiful tradition in our movement. Next. The criterion for becomes the head of the church should not be based on age. Whether someone is old or young should not be the standard, but we must ask if they are really respected pastor and if they are loved by the members. And they are person that are track record of love or not. Or for a senior, the track record of love is how much respected they are by their juniors. And for juniors, the track record of love is how much they have moved and how much they are recognized by their superiors. A church is a church that exists because of love. Likewise, in the church, there must be an exchange of love between couples. Even if the husband and wife cannot be respected by each other, the family will become hell. Whether it is a church or family, the purpose of their existence is to realize God's love. If this is not done, the church will be barren and the family will be lonely. And you cannot give hope to your growing children. Prosper, and how can our families become families that realize true love? Due to the fall of Eve, to this day, humankind has had a history with a fight between Cain and Abel, children becoming unfilial children, and families breaking down. Ultimately, the fall came from lack of filial piety. The cause of the fall was because Adam and Eve failed to show filial piety to God. Filial piety always put parents first and sets an example of absolute faith, absolute love, and absolute obedience to them. Therefore, to create a church and family that realize true love, we must be filial to our husband and wives with the heart that is filial to God. If we become a family where we are filial to each other in this way, true love will be realized in the end. Ultimately, we need to know that God's purpose of creation is to practice filial piety in the family, realize the four great realms of God on this earth. The church is the extension of the family. My brothers and sisters, today I have to talk about the church must be a church that exists because of love.